right, the game we play, and it's certainly fun. You could join in at home. It's called Over Under. It's personally one of my favorites. I know you're a big fan of it as well.
Yeah, batting about 600 right now.
Well, you know what? That's a lot better than Melky Cabrera.
Yeah.
Or the jail time he might serve as well.
And there's no test after, is there?
Well, we might have to take a urine
Okay,
sample. We'll have to see what happens. Performance-enhancing drugs. I know Brian's a little skeptical.
Yeah. 600, 60%.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Brian, you ready for this one?
Throw it at me.
All right, question one goes to you. Since the wild card era was introduced in baseball, the Cleveland Indians hold the record for baseball's largest division lead. How many games did they, or were they ahead of second place when they won their Central Division title?
About 17.
Over or under?
Under.
The question, or the answer is over. They were 30 games ahead of second place. That year they ended up losing in the World Series to the Atlanta Braves. Obviously, when you have that big win or that big lead, it doesn't necessarily translate into a World Series championship. All right, question number two. You're up 1-0, Brian. This one goes to you, Greg. Since 1994, how many times has Brian Laboucaine and Ray Mitsuing combined to win the final dash? And these two, it was back and forth for many years between those two.
Since 1984.
Since 1994.
94.
Combined, both of them.
Combined, I say 10.
Over or under?
Over.
It was actually under.
Combined?
And it wasn't, you weren't that far off. It was 9.
What was the question?
It was since 94, how many times has Brian Laboucaine and Ray Mitsuing combined to win the final dash?
Oh, 94, okay.
Yeah, so since 1994.
Gotcha.
So yeah. And it was interesting because it was always back and forth between those two year after year. So hasn't been any of those two the last 4 years. New winner, we might get a new one with
Could be,
Vern.
yeah.
All right, question number 3, tied at 1. This one goes to you, Brian. Back in 1979, we were talking about those high long-term contracts, right, in the NHL. Well, Wayne Gretzky signed a lengthy contract that was to pay him $21 million through that duration. What was the length of the contract in years?
Jeez.
$21 million.
$21 million.
Yeah.
Probably 21 years.
Actually, you know what? You are correct. Peter Pocklington was a shrewd businessman. $1 million per season, and you give it to you because you're right on the nose. Obviously, he got traded and got much better money in Los Angeles.
A little bit,
from
yeah.
Bruce McNall.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2-1. You have the lead. Chance to tie it up here. Sorry, not Brian. Greg, you have a chance to tie it up here. Question 4. Now, Tennessee Titans running back Chris Johnson was the leading rusher in the NFL back in 2009. How many yards did he rush for?
How many yards he rushed for? 2,400.
Over or under?
Under.
Under, correct. That's a little high. 2006 was the number. He became the 6th running back in NFL history to rush over 2,000 yards that season. All right, you won it, but a chance to go 4-1 and kind of cement this victory for good, and a chance to kind of get the bragging rights during the whole CPCA finals. You could rub it in during the broadcasts too. Question 5 goes to you. The NHL, of course, had a lockout back in 2005, but also in 1994-95, which lasted how many days?
1994. I don't know. I'll throw 60. I have no clue.
Over or under?
It was in the 100 range, so I say he's under.
You say you're under?
No, I say over.
Okay, there we go. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. It was 102 days that was lost from
He's
October
a little
1st.
older than me, so
October 1st to January 11th of 95, they eventually got back to that 48-game season. All right, well, congratulations, Brian. You won.
Thank you.
You have a chance to sound off. We're going to take a bit of a break. We'll be back with more Gloves Are Off.